Hey everyone, it's Tiffany Young. I'm here hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
Talk to me a little about this second track that you've released this year, and what was it like for you creating this track? I mean, we get a different side of you this time around.
Oh, absolutely. Teach You is for all the devious men out there that they should treat their woman right or else. And writing it and creating and storytelling through the lyrics was so much fun. It was definitely about my experiences with relationships gone bad, and ultimately that I'm human and I'm vulnerable and I'm emotional and I react badly to heartbreak and don't do any really bad things like what I did in the music.
That music video is traumatizing. It is traumatizing.
Put it out to your art and just feel through the music and let your emotions out through your art. And
Right.
I hope that inspires everybody to create more art.
Most definitely. As you kind of mentioned, got more vulnerable on this track. This is the second release that you're doing this on your own. So before we actually talk about that, like, what was that transition like going into the studio, creating new music, coming from a group to now doing it all by yourself?
I have been lucky enough to take creative control of my group in the middle of the decade, and I got a glimpse of what producing and directing and taking control was, but coming here and really putting and crafting your sound and the right producers and the writers, because everybody is good at a specific craft, and I love how detailed it got.
Every little piece.
Yes, like a type of song, a type of instrument, type of lyricist. It was so amazing to be able to orchestrate that. I had a good year to be in the studio and write. I was so bad. I was like, is this not for me? Like when I first got back last year and I was writing full time for the first time, I was like, maybe I shouldn't be a writer, and there was a lot of self-doubt, but definitely persevered with an amazing new team, Transparent, and I'm just happy to be writing. I've written so many other songs that is going to come out in my EP early next year. So I'm just so happy to be releasing things one by one, and for the world to hear the rest of the project as one body of work.
Right. And as you are creating these new songs, this new material, before when you were in the group, I'm sure there was restrictions on what you can write about, what you can talk about, what you can't do. Now you're open to the world. The world gets to know Tiffany. So, I mean, was that exciting to be able to write about everything like that, or was that at the same time kind of scary?
You just said it. It is very, very freeing, and I think it is a time where the freedom of expression is at its best, and I encourage myself, I encourage everybody to too. And being in a group and starting out with a really, really clear concept and idea and message, and at the time, we didn't have iPhones or YouTube yet. I sound old. I'm not that old, but
Back in the day.
When I had to go to a payphone to call my parents international. Jeez. But definitely, I love that my group, my bandmates, my sisters, we grew up through with all the new technology and amazing platforms, and it's wonderful that I have got to grow with it and change and be able to express more. I'm just thankful that each year growing up and embracing becoming a woman is something to be proud of, and there's a beauty at every age, and now is the time where I get to open up and talk about more personal things, and I'm just happy to do it now. I think now is the time.
Oh, most definitely. And as you're kind of picking and choosing your team of writers and producers, like, what goes behind the scenes? Like, how did you kind of pick them for these two songs or for the EP and as a whole?
I am actually very, very specific with like fabrics, designers, colors, producers, directors. I am all about the craftsman of this, and I am a fan of some of the writers I got to be with, and one of the writers being Satika, who wrote Teach You with me, and a bunch of other amazing writers, Rachel West. I had been fortunate enough to get in the rooms with them multiple times. We have more songs coming. And also on some of the other songs that aren't released, I got to go into the studios with the Rascals and Babyface.
No way. He just did a thing last night too, like a secret performance in Beverly Hills.
Why didn't you tell me, Kenny? I miss you.
Kenny, what's wrong?
Kenny. Well, Kenny and I have something special for my fans.
Oh my gosh.
So
what was that experience like working with him?
I look at the video and I hear the song and I still can't believe it's mine. So that's thank you, Chris from the Rascals. I love you, Chris. I miss you. And Kenny, I get to call him Kenny.
That's so crazy.
But I'm with some amazing writers and producers who believe in me. Babyface believes in me.
That's incredible. I mean,
there's some cool stuff.
You're doing something right.
I'm trying to build the street cred to be able to kind of release such a huge song. I can't wait for everybody to hear it.
I can't wait for that either. Now, if you're looking for new writers to work with, there's a writer that I'm super obsessed with. She's a singer as well. Her name is Sasha Sloan. I don't know if you've heard of her.
I've heard of her, but I would love to.
But you should check her out because her writing is just incredible.
I'm gonna go look it up and I'm gonna like replay this interview over. I'm like, hey Sasha, can I meet you? But yes, I'm writers. I am a huge fan of the 90s and early 2000s, which is definitely what Over My Skin was inspired by, and I'm a huge fan of Pharrell and the Neptunes.
Nice.
And
another good year for Pharrell and the Neptunes because there's stuff going on.
That's it. That's what I grew up to, and I was very inspired by that. So hopefully, this is one of many albums that I have amazing people that I loved and admired believe in me and create music with me. Oh my gosh, yeah. I still can't believe I can say, hi Kenny, see you soon, Kenny.
Let alone text him or call him, right?
Yeah, you're right. I'm sad that there was something.
That's kind of disappointing. But then you had your thing going on as well. So maybe that's why he didn't want to bother you.
Oh, no. Thank you.
Now, talk to me a little more about this EP. Like the sound of this EP, will it be similar to these two tracks that we've heard already? Will it be a mixture of things? Will we get to hear a little bit of Remember Me? Because I really loved how you had the ukulele on there. Like
that was produced by the Rascals, both Chris and Leon. It was amazing. I was watching the Oscars and Miguel was performing and I was like, oh my gosh, that song is so special to me, and it just had such an amazing message and impact for me, and I felt that way towards my fans, and I was like, hey, can we make this song with like what I like about what you guys do? And they're just like, yeah, come to the studio. And then once in a while I'm so glad that I got to put my own version out and the fans love it, and hopefully one day my Disney princess dreams will come true. Or I don't have to be a princess, I can be like Dante and Coco. I would like to even be a dog in Disney. Who knows?
Anything is possible. It's 2018.
Sorry, I totally trailed off. The album definitely has some of the Rascals in there, and the album altogether, I think, because it is my first
EP. Don't get us excited.
Yes. Oh, my first EP. It's because I have so much music. I want it to be an album, but EP first. I'm gonna be very strategic and smart with my decisions and what comes out first, because my fans know me. The EP is definitely me about discovery this year, discovery in sounds and what my message is and who I am and what I know and where I'm from, and embracing all of that. And you'll definitely hear it in all hearing that as a full project, because you'll have some of this, but it'll still feel Tiffany in the old and new way. So discovery, new sounds, but still feeling the same.
Discovery is a great segue for my next question, because I want to take it back to like 10 years when, yeah, I know, right? When you were diagnosed with vocal nodes. Yes. And you know that I've talked about that a lot mainly with rock stars, just because they're constantly screaming and yelling on, in their music. So they're, I feel like a rock star. So their therapy, the way that they have to sing again, the way that they have to like discover their sound all over it. Yeah. So what was that experience like for you when you were first diagnosed and, you know, getting back into performing and being able to sing?
That was a tough time because I got diagnosed twice. So the first time it was just throwing myself into performing every single day and not knowing how to take care of myself because I was only 18 and I just didn't think, you know, I just thought being on stage and being on was the most important thing. And little did I know I was just hurting myself for not taking care of myself. And growing up, definitely, and being very, very aware of your instrument, that this is your instrument, definitely changed and made me get better. I went to a vocal doctor where we would have to have a camera in and check how my chords were moving. And when it got really bad, I wasn't even allowed to listen to music because
you start to sing?
No. So musicians, especially, you move because it's muscle memory. When you hear a note, you're already placing and following it through with your muscles, and it still uses it even though you're not making a sound.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I got into deep.
That just takes vocal rest to like a new level.
So I couldn't listen to music for about a good month, and it was driving me crazy. But that experience definitely made me treasure and take this as a privilege and a responsibility. And I mean, vocal training is really like being an athlete. And right now I am with I wanted to work with him for so long, Eric Betro. He's my vocal coach and he's amazing. I've been going at it for months and everyone's like, wow, you still take vocal lessons? I'm like, everybody should. Yeah, you're always going to learn. Your sound's always going to change, and the experiences are definitely going to change what the acoustics are inside you. So it's always about awareness and health. And like before show days and things like that, I won't eat certain hours before before I go to bed, just so that it keeps it all clean. It really is an instrument.
Really changed you, like the way that you do everything.
I've never even talked about it in this detail because everybody was just like, "Oh, you had, you. How was that?" And I was like, "Hard AF."
That could end your career if you don't take care of it.
I was really, really sad. Sure. Yeah, that they were just like, "Yeah, you shouldn't be listening to music because you're it's gonna move with it, and you really just need rest." And I'm glad I went through it because I'm here and stronger than ever, and treating it like an instrument, and I'm training like an athlete for it.
Right. And what are you doing different now? Like when you sing, when you listen to music, when you're creating your music, I'm sure you always have that in the back of your head.
When I was younger, I played an instrument in orchestra and marching band, and also had to do musical theory, like classical music theory. I did it for a good 7-8 years. So I'm glad I have that classical training in the sense of like rhythms and scales and going to vocal class. It's a lot of scale and repetition, and it's perfect practice makes perfect. So always practicing as if somebody's watching, or it's for an audience, and both the technicalities and the emotions as well. So I'm glad I'm with such amazing vocal coaches and producers. Oh my goodness.
Babyface. What?
That's what I was thinking of. When I was in the booth and he was directing, I was like, is this real? Because I finished school. I was going to acting school for a year last year, and I came right after school, so I was obviously hypersensitized. I was like, oh my god, I'm here. Oh my gosh. And his studio, it's just like,
it's cool that you're fangirling too, like
plaque after plaque and Grammys, and it's what a dream. I really wish I could.
Coming real soon. EP coming soon. Let's change the subject before we get too excited. H&M, you did a collaboration with H&M, and I mean, you're taking over LA right now with your event. So tell me a little bit about this collaboration and what kind of inspired the collaboration.
The H&M Divided Music campaign is for new artists and their early support on an artist. And how amazing is that it's only been 3 months since my first single. And when they heard the song and they heard they also heard the other music that I've been creating, they're like, we believe in you. And that's so special, and I'm so happy to be a part of it, especially as the U.S. global ambassador. Asians represent, and representation is so important to me, and seeing me on, in everywhere. The store. Yeah, there's like H&M Portugal, H&M Spain, H&M, everybody tagging this, and I hope it just inspires anybody that you can do anything and everything you want. Cause
are you getting teary-eyed right now?
No, I'm not good.
Are you sure?
Well, you brought up all the questions,
all the emotions right now
that give me the feels. But I'm so happy I got to take over the Hollywood H&M on the Sunset Strip. What a dream! Like, I remember walking there a couple of years ago. Like, I think I was on vacation from touring in Asia, and I was like, well, one day maybe I can come home and, like, perform here and have a billboard and things like that. And I was just walking that street. So to be back here and have 2 singles out and be able to do that, thank you to the fans and for believing in me and H&M, and more to come.
Amazing. Now, with the music that's out now, EP in the works, any chances for some shows, some tours? Like, what is in the air for you right now?
I am currently on my Asia fan meeting tour, where it's kind of like very interactive, and I get to showcase some of the old songs and new songs, but with like a new twist. And it's just, I get to spend time with my fans because I haven't seen them in a while. And definitely feeling that I'm doing a lot of promo for Teach You. Thank you so much for all the love, because this is why the fans are definitely making this happen for me. And working towards a tour for the EP.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Now,
that's currently what I'm working on.
Now, you once said that music is your therapy. Yes. Now, when you went through this whole, touring cycles and nonstop, albums, you were doing albums every year, and fans were all over the place.
One album for 10 consecutive years.
That's crazy.
I didn't know that until I got.
That's crazy. So, you're doing so much, and it gets to the point where you're just too involved in music. At least for me, running is my therapy, and when I run too much because I'm training, it doesn't become my therapy. So did you ever go through that when you were like doing the group or even doing your performances? Like, did you start to feel like, this is not my therapy anymore, I'm doing too much, I need to relax for a little bit?
I definitely understand you and feel the same sometimes, but when I left at 15 and wanted to do this, and when it happened and all that craziness was happening, I still had that sense of it's my responsibility. Yeah. To give as much as I can. And when I feel that way, I try to think about, remember why you came, remember why you're here, and I try not to let that get to me, because it does get kind of you do kind of get a bit jaded, but it's focusing on how I got there, how my bandmates and I got there, and how I'm here right now. And my life here the past year has definitely been different from the whirlwind of tours and back-to-back albums. Right. So I'm glad I got the time to kind of step back and really dig deeper into the roots. So when that happens, definitely dig back to my roots and always be thankful.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, thanks again for hanging out with me. I'm glad that we can talk about this kind of stuff. And dang, Babyface. I don't know. I don't even know how to end this. Tiffany Young, Rob, Front Row Live, Babyface music coming soon.
Who doesn't love
with Tiffany Young.
Thank you. Thank you so much.